Last video I talked about my personal goals for 2026. This video is going to be the financial goals video. Um, I don't know, like this is like my seventh or eighth recording of this. I'm having a really bad issue. I think it's just because I'm tired. I'm starting to get really sleepy and drowsy. Uh, but I'm trying to get some points across, and it's just kind of hard because I kind of just ramble on. So I'm gonna try to make this as concise as I can, and just go with my points and call it a day. But before I get into all the points, I want to preface this by saying that I did make a career change, kind of late 2024, going into 2025. I went from family entertainment management, so like Chuck E. Cheese and Urban Air and like those like kids places. I was managing a couple of those places, and I got into a trade. I got into land surveying, and I went from making around 22,000 to 2,400 a month to about 3,000, 3,200 a month. And then I got moved to Dallas in April. Same company, but they're paying me per diem. I was getting about 4,000 a month. Now I'm making 11,000 a month. Uh, I'm getting per diem. I get 150 a day per diem, and then with the hours that I work, I get about 3,500 on a paycheck. So a month about 11,200, because that's 1050 over the course of a month, or every week over the course of a month is 4,200, and then 3,500 twice is 7,000, so 11,200. So that is how much I'm making. If you want to chart it up or whatever, then you can, for what I'm about to get into. Uh, all this video is I'm going to be saying my goals out loud, my kind of plan, my course of action I'm going to go with, and see if you guys have any advice for me, what I can do, uh, or if there's any ways to look at certain things, or just any sort of advice I'm willing to look at and talk and discuss, because obviously finances are a very touchy subject. Like they've been a touchy subject for me for a while, and I'm trying to be better about it. So anything that helps me, if what I say helps you, gives you an idea of what you should do, then let me know. That makes me feel awesome. So I'm just gonna try to get into it. First thing up is pay my car off. Uh, I made a bad financial decision about a year ago. I got a car through the dealership. I didn't go through a bank or anything like that to get a loan. I went straight to the dealership. I have high interest. When I first got my car, I had really high insurance. The insurance was more than my car payment. That gives you an idea. But now I've lowered my insurance, and my car payment's still the same, because I've gone through like 10 different people to try to refinance it, and they just won't accept my refinance. So I'm kind of stuck to paying this like really shitty car payment, which is about 600 a month. But my insurance is about 300 to get. It also give you an idea for that. So about 1,000, like we'll say $1,000 to make it easy, a month on this car, minimum. So I make 11,000 a month. I think this is what I want. This is my course of action. Every week my per diem check is 1050. I take 300 of that. I take 150 into my savings. I put 150 into my investments, my Robinhood brokerage, and then the rest goes and onto a car payment. So 615 on a car payment. Boom. 4 times a month. That's 600 in savings, 600 in Robinhood, 4 car payments. Awesome. Very good. Every paycheck. At first, I was thinking two, because two car payments is 1230, which would, at 3,500, 1230 would leave me what, 2270. Then I thought about it, and you know, I could do another car payment on top of that, because 2270, well, I guess I get, hold on, 2270, sorry, 2270, and then I take out what I want for my savings and my brokerage, which each paycheck I would do about probably 500 for each. So 500 for savings, 500 for brokerage. So sorry, another 1,000. So 12 1270 a paycheck. So that would be 6 car payments a month. Now, here's the thing. with when you have income, and this is just a personal opinion. When you have any source of income, if you can cover your expenses and pay yourself, aka save, there is nothing wrong with spending money. There's nothing wrong with spending money on yourself. If you want to spend money for a hobby, for as a gift, for any kind of recreational purpose, even if or something for your house. Just if you want to just get something nice for your house. Here's my thing. I don't get a lot of stuff for myself. And if I do, it's usually in spurts over the course of like months. When I first got this job, I got myself a new phone. I got myself a new pair of earbuds. I actually got as my Christmas gift to myself, I got myself a brand new computer, which is honestly sounds kind of crazy, but it was needed. I had like a 6-year-old computer, and now I actually have like a good thing going on here. I got myself a lot of stuff, and the only other things I could think of that I'd want is like a Switch 2 and then a Steam Deck, but I'm gonna kind of hold off on spending money as of right now. I'll kind of get into in a later point why, but I digress. So because I don't spend a lot of money on myself, and even I don't really spend a lot of money on my girlfriend, and I mean I could, but she would want me to save, and that sounds kind of selfish and sounds kind of weird, but I mean it's I swear it's the truth. So that being said, I could tag on another car payment for a paycheck. So 3 car payments, a paycheck, leaving myself still about $1,200 a month for myself spending after all the car payments. Which is, and plus the extra excess from the per diem checks, which I think 300, and then 615. So that's, or sorry, 151. So 300 and then 615 is 915. 1050 minus 915 is 135. 135 times 4 would be 270. 70 times 2 is 540. So 540 plus 1200, so 1700. 1700 a month, I think. My math checks out. To myself, and that is quite enough. That is enough for me to, feed, like if I want to go out and feed myself or get something for myself or get something for my girlfriend. Clearly enough. And I'd also be doing 10 car payments a month, which sounds excessive, right? That sounds quite excessive. Why would I be doing this much work to pay my car off? Well, one, I don't want debt. I don't want this kind of debt anymore. The only debt that I want is my credit card payments, which sounds crazy, but I always pay my credit cards off. I pay my credit cards off every single paycheck, which if I take away from that 1700, I mean, there you go. And I'll tell you this right now, I don't think I spend that much in a month. Like, if I genuinely on my my needs, I should say, not my wants, but my needs. On my needs, I don't spend 1700 a month. Like food and gas and shit. So that being said, I don't want this card debt anymore. I want to get rid of it. Plus, I know in the future I'm gonna want to move in with my girlfriend. So I don't want this car payment looming over me while I'm also trying to pay rent. I have a goal, a future goal, where I stop doing land surveying, I quit my trade, and I go to college and I go and be a financial advisor. That is a not a this year goal, but that's a future goal, which requires me to go to college. I go to college. I want to go work at a bank and a brokerage firm so I can get financial experience. That is stuff I want to work on in the future. But to do that, it'd be kind of silly to be a financial advisor and then have like fucking car debt because I got a car from a dealership. So I want to get rid of the car payments. I think doing 10 car payments a month sounds excessive, but if it gets rid of my debt and it helps me ease the load off into moving in with my girlfriend, as well as like going to college and not having to worry about insurance. And plus, when I pay my car off, I can pay less on insurance, which just sounds fantastic. I think that'll work out pretty well. Honestly, that's I have three big things listed out. That was one of them, and it's I told myself I was gonna do it when I first got this job, and then I bought myself a lot of stuff, and it was justified through the means of, hey, I don't do that. I don't do that a lot. That's because I never really had money to do that. So that was the justification for that. But I don't want to justify bad spending anymore. I want to try to lock in. Uh, to not hound on that point anymore. The next point, which I actually made this point in my personal goals video, was to stop gambling. Now, financially, obviously, um, the idea of making more money by putting in more money and making more money just sounds awesome. Uh, Unfortunately, I don't want to say pissed away a lot of money, but spending money is so easy. It's so easy. And not just because it's like, oh, I have it, let me just spend it. It's the accessibility. It's like these apps that people have. You know, some people are bad with Amazon. I'm not bad with Amazon. I'm bad with a fucking Dragon Ball game. I'm bad with sports betting. I leave Texas to go to Louisiana, and in Louisiana I'll do sports bets. Not doing that anymore. Cannot do that anymore. In fact, to move on to my next point, um, and to kind of tie both points together, is my next point is maxing my Roth. I have a Roth IRA. I maxed it out last year at $7,000. I'm very proud of myself on that. Uh, and funny enough, through my sports betting gambling, I looked at like my wins and returns and found out that I actually evened out on how much I put in and how much I won, and I still had $500 in my account. So I took that $500, put it into my Roth, as well as took what I had like another $500 in my Robinhood already. So I'm already, as of January 5th, I'm already $1,000 into my Roth. Um, 6,500 to go. Maxing out my Roth will let me put more money somewhere else, whether it be more investments or a little bit more savings for like a cushion fund, or just putting money down in my quote unquote cushion fund. It's a cushion. I'll kind of get into like what I want my cushion fund to be in a minute, because that's one of another financial goal. But anyways, I could basically put my money somewhere else, or spend it on myself, whatever the case might be. Um, spend needlessly spending money on just random gambling will, or not needlessly doing it, will help me be able to max out my Roth IRA, help me pay off my car, all that stuff. All three of those kind of stem together into one big goal I want this year, and then the rest for this year I kind of just have like these will happen like as I'm doing this, or after the fact that I do this. Um, and the thing with paying off the car and maxing out my Roth is I know I can put money in my Roth while I pay my car. That's the whole process of me talking about paying my car off. That was also me talking about the processes of putting money in my Robinhood. Like I said, that 150 for the per diem checks, and then that like I said 500. If I did 15%, it'd really be like, I guess it would be close to 500. I was gonna say $450, but to make it easier, 500. So I'm still putting, 1,600 a month into my Roth, and I need 6,500. So that's what 16, 32, 16, 32, 48, 54. About 5 months worth. As I'm paying my car off, by the way, as I'm paying my car off. Once I pay my car off, if my Roth isn't full, guess what the car payments are going to be? It's going to be going into my Roth until it's done, and then next thing you know, boom! Now I have all this extra money for more savings or investments that I can do. So now I got those 3 points out of the way. I know we're already 15 minutes in. I'm going to try to make these kind of quick, especially because it's late. I need to revisit my budget plan. This video is kind of I guess I would call my budget plan. But when I was in Dallas, I was working with about $4,000 a month, and still had like I had a really like my car payment was 1,400, 600 for the car payment, 800 for insurance, very very bad. But I was able to make it. I was able to keep my expenses below that 50% threshold, 50% of income threshold. Um, I need to get. I need to revisit my budget plan for the job I have now, and I know I'm gonna have to do it whenever I stop working at this job to go back to college. Now, I don't I don't know how I'm gonna go about certain things. I will say like what I was doing for a bit is I was using credit cards for groceries and credit cards for like other things like gas, yeah, food and gas. And I'm going to kind of go into. I didn't have it. I actually don't have this written down, but this is a point that I did say out loud to myself. Uh, Earlier when I was writing these down, I just didn't write it down. Is to use my credit cards, which some of you might think, oh, why would you want to use your credit cards? Isn't that like a scary? Credit cards are great tools if you use them right. Um, my girlfriend is always like, because I have three. I have three credit cards right now. I have, I don't know what they are specifically, but off the top of my head, it's also late. But I know one has about $300 limit. One has 600. One just got a $600 limit, and then one has 3,500. But all of them have different kinds of rewards, and a couple, one or two of them help me build credit. And my girlfriend, she has credit card debt. Probably didn't want me to say that on camera, but this is me expressing, trying to express how she feels about it. Her worry to me is like, oh, what's my interest rate on these credit cards? I do not worry about the interest rate because I don't let it build interest. As soon as I get a paycheck, I pay my credit cards off. I put money in my savings, I put money in my Robinhood, and I pay my credit cards off. Those are my immediate bills. Boom, that's it. Oh, and if you guys were wondering, like as far as like other bills that I have, um, I'm very very grateful. I live with my dad. Uh, I usually give him I'll give him about 600 a month because uh I mean if it was up to him, I wouldn't pay him. If I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's how he is. He doesn't want my money. But I told him like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm living here and I would like to help if I can." So I give him about 600 a month. So from earlier, I guess take 600 from that, which is still like I still have about 1,100. I think the number was like 1,700, so I still have about 1,100 for myself. I give him about 600 a month. I'm not gonna go through the processes of how we go about that. It's just 600 a month, boom. And I have a couple other bills like gym and internet. So not enough to where I'm like in the negative. Just to preface that. But my credit cards, I usually don't. I never go above my balance. I never go above my credit, and I've been trying to get better at keeping track of like what rewards my credit cards have, and then using credit cards for those specific things. I need to get better about that because just some like it's like why not, right? It's not a matter like I don't want to. I don't want to be like the lady in the grocery line. Oh, I got a coupon. I got a coupon for this. But it's like that's kind of how I feel. Is I gotta save money. I want to do things like this because it helps. There's no reason I shouldn't be doing it like this. Plain and simple. Which plays into my budget plan. I should watch what I spend uh, more closely with the. I'll use the word excess with the excess of money, uh, excess amount of money that I've been making and have. I have been just kind of spending stuff willy nilly, and I do buy Pokemon cards, but that's more of like a personal thing. One of my personal goals was to make a living Pokédex, so I want to buy Pokemon cards. That is just a thing. It's also something I share with me and my girlfriend, so that's kind of like a separate thing though. That is a bonding experience between me and my girlfriend. I don't want to get rid of that. So, you know, there's stuff I want to put into my budget, but I know that right now's budget plan will be different than 5 months from now. 5 months from now, I plan on paying off my car. So what am I going to do with the extra money, right? I kind of need to revisit it maybe 4 or 5 times this year, but that's just something I need to do because my last time I revisited it was when I was in Dallas. Anyways, next. Sorry, kind of digress a little bit, but moving on. It was also like 2 points in one, so give you a little 2-in-1 special. Next point is I want to have at least like a 6 month to a 1 year cushion fund. So this plays into my budget plan point a little bit, and budget point, not point, but goal. 6 months to a year might seem excessive. I know some people say 3 to 5. I think what Dave Ramsey says, like, save 1,000 and then save yourself like 3 to 5 months or something like that, right? People say 3 to 5. I like 6. I was in a situation where I got basically kicked out of a job, and had to look for another one. And I wasn't in a job for like 2 months, but I didn't have barely any fucking savings, so I was kind of SOL for a bit. The reason I say 6 months, because I know right now, or 6 months to a year, because I know right now my cushion, my expenses aren't that expensive right now, and I know they're gonna go lower as I work this job and pay my car off. But I know in the future I'm gonna move with my girlfriend, which is gonna obviously raise my expenses up. So having that cushion fund, if something happens when I move in, lose my job, whatever the case is, I have this. If it's a cushion fund for 1 year of expenses now, that would still help me maybe 6 months worth for when I move in with my girlfriend. And to, I guess put a number on it. I'll say that my expenses right now, my monthly expenses, I'll say like $2,000 is what it is. I'll just say $2,000 because it's more than what it actually is. It's more than what it actually is, which helps me with like excess and like roll over into like other months and whatnot. So $2,000, 6 months cushion fund of that is 12,000. A year would be 24,000. Which again might seem a little bit excessive, especially because it's not actually $2,000 a month. But rent might be expensive when I move out with my girlfriend, or move out with my girlfriend. So if we might be splitting rent, or whatever the case might be, I'll have $12,000 to $24,000 worth of a cushion fund to help live off that if something happens. I do obviously plan to still work. It's just I don't plan on working like the job I have now when I move out. I plan on going to college and working financial jobs to help me with financial literacy and financial jeez, I'm so tired. Experience. That's silly. Experience is where I was looking for. Financial experience so that I can be a financial advisor, which is my end goal after college. So, but that, like I said, I kind of already put the cushion fund into my car payment plan, as well as like once my car payment's done, there'll just be more funding into my cushion. And then once I get past like a certain point, at least 12,000. All right, we'll just say 12,000. That's like a flat boom, 6 months. As long as I can stay between 6 months to a year, I'll be okay. I'm not gonna be opposed, and also like it won't suck if I want to get a gift for someone like when Christmas comes around, right? To like dip into my savings like 25-50% of what I want to spend for Christmas, and then 25 or 75 to 50% what I have in my checking, and spend it on Christmas gifts, right? It's not gonna hurt because I'll have excess more for what I need for my cushion. So that's another thing too. It's why I kind of give it like a in between like that. That's how my mind is, at least. Last two, which are kind of they're pretty similar. I want to have at least 10 to 20,000 on my brokerage account. I want to learn trading, and this is one of the things where like if someone stumbles upon this and watches this, and you know anything about trading, I mean any kind of advice is helpful. My biggest things with trading right now is I'm sticking to like slow growing like trust funds and stuff like that. I'm really into the companies that give dividends. Because the idea of being able to like live off dividends is nice. Maybe not live off of them, but just getting enough where it's like, okay, nice. I have enough into this company and it's paying me a pretty substantial amount and it helps me cover most of my bills for the month. But that, excuse me, obviously requires a lot of money put into them. Um, but I also wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind learning, trading in general. I know there's like a bunch of different kinds of ways to look at the actual like graphs and everything, and there's different methods and whatnot. But uh, that's one of those things where like I'm gonna have to go out of my way to do more research on and actually like dig deep and listen and watch a lot of videos on. But if whoever is watching this does have that knowledge and would like to give me some advice, please let me know. First things first, I'm not buying a fucking course. So if you try to sell me a course, go fuck yourself. I just want, even if it's like, hey, I saw this video might help. That is all I need. I don't need like some trading guru in the comments or something like that. But the next thing actually kind of plays into that, whereas learn option trading and just trading in general, which is like I said, kind of the same points. Um, I mean, if I can make money trading and make it a thing that I can do, sure, that's awesome. I would love that. I don't think it would deter me from what I want to do, which is go be a financial advisor. But I think uh, I think it'd be nice to just have a little bit of extra money to not have to worry. Uh, if I build enough wealth to take care of my kids and my kids, sure, that that and that might be seem like a crazy underreaction. One, I'm tired. Two, it's it's just a long shot kind of thing, so I want to get myself like too excited for it. But if I can, I can, and I would like that. So I want to try to take this year and um, try to learn as much as I can about that stuff and try to really get it down to a system, and obviously put enough money into it to help me understand it. Um, that's about it. It's really late. I got to get up for work in less than an hour, so wish me luck on that. Um, yeah. Uh, if you have any financial goals for this year, put them in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.